sure how to type those.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not books so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
That is Hannah, right? I've written down Hannah Blue, so...
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. How many of these in colour? I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, you know, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front.
Confused.
She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
Can't differentiate on who is who. I thought Eve was the married one, but apparently Hannah is. They both have the name Smith, so I'm guessing that makes sense. Hannah is the one with the band on the hand.
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
We're having the English as a main language kinda sucks. That too, like that with one T.
Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think.
Doesn't have the band.
We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection.
Whatever her name is.
The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back, and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements.
What? Go.
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality.
Hannah has a tattoo.
It's an apple and a snake.
Apple and snake. Okay. That's one way to express your individuality, I guess.
So I moved out. Got a small bed set. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since.
Doesn't wear the band, so she should be...
I haven't put down any roots.
Well, I have no idea.
I don't exist.
Sounds like it too. But we can't see her tattoo, so maybe it's another...
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there.
Ooh.
Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married.
Your twin sister?
He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
So did Simon go on with both of them? That's... to think of keywords from a first person perspective, I guess.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
Who's Doug and Eleanor? Guessing they're the parents of Hannah? Also, does he look here there? I'm not sure.
My hoover, my dust.
Oh yeah, we'll see that. Okay.
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in, Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
It was really descriptive. Guess
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It was just awful.
That's...
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
I think Eleanor is and Doug are Simon's parents. Yeah, right. What? Try that again.
No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after.
8 months. That's harsh. So the baby is dead.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded
Had
me of
another
being a
baby.
girl, the dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
So she had a baby and she lost it, and now she has another one.
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body.
What body?
I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
What? Simon's body?
Simon's parents offered to put me up, but I didn't think it would be a good idea. It would be too sad. Not right now. I'm staying at a friend's. Oh, okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer.
I think I've
I took
seen
my
it
keys out of
before.
my bag, unlocked the door. later, and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me.
Yep.
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
Wait, what? Who's watching the other?
I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you, but I haven't really told the other police.
Sick.
I found the body.
Dat gaat zeker eens wel goed fucking knows. Liz.
His body did not real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. There's these thick glasses. It doesn't always wear.
Game is weird. Trying to follow the story, but I'm not sure who the fuck is who. Who is Hannah, who is Eve?
Really? Okay. Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the dock to dry. Oh, the wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bones. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
Oh, okay.
Anything maybe used as evidence against you.
Right. Yeah, they're pretty sure it's the other chick. Also something about the blonde down. I don't think I did. Down. Yeah, I need to ask about the glasses. What?
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes. It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror. A nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
The wrong name.
Well, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me. The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since. Silver leaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection.
Oh, nothing. Okay.
Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room.
What?
His throat had been cut.
What? The fuck? Make up your mind.
There was a lot of blood.
What?
Yeah, he was dead.
What the hell is going on? I said before that Simon's body was in some bin bags. How can it be?